And so as a Bill and Ted fan, I'm like, holy shit, this movie might actually happen. Turns out, Klaus is looking because he doesn't think sound's going on.
My mic wasn't on.
Awesome. All right. Klaus, my excellent friend.
John, my most bodacious pal.
I'm going to take you on a most excellent journey through time. I don't know, 1989, give or take-ish.
Really doing it, okay.
And I'm like this tall, right? And I'm like, you know, rocking out to really bad 80s hair music. And my friend Kevin at the time, like we loved all the hair metal, like it was great. And then we saw the previews for this movie called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And we were in. We were going to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And we went, we saw it, we loved it, it changed our fucking lives. It was magical. Two like fucking 12, 13-year-old kids, we thought this was amazing. We thought it was the greatest thing we'd ever seen. We were quoting the lines, we were being excellent to each other. You know, it had a positive message, mostly. And we just loved it. And then, you know, then the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures cartoon came out, right? And then Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Great movie, we loved it. And then the franchise went dark. Okay, there was a TV show. I think it was on like USA Network or something. It was really bad. For nearly 30 goddamn years, the Bill and Ted franchise, gone. And everybody figured, okay, Keanu Reeves, he's a big star. He's in The Matrix, and he went on to be like John Wick, and there was the Keanu-sance, right? Because he's like in everything, and everything he touches is box office gold. Alex Winter, Bill, he goes on to be like a pretty successful filmmaker. Go back and watch Alex Winter's Idiot Box. It was a TV show that was on MTV, spectacular. So anyway, they went on with their lives. And then about 15 years ago, I started hearing rumblings of, we're trying to make another Bill and Ted movie. Who wants to see it other than me? I mean, I got the shirt. I'm wearing the socks. This, as you can probably guess, is a very objective and non-biased review.
I've got the butthole tattoo.
Like, as much as I love those movies, and as much as they are like infinitely rewatchable to me, is this ever going to get made? Well, no, for a long time, right? For a long time, It wasn't. It took them almost 15 years to get this damn movie made. And then about a year and a half, 2 years ago, you know, I follow Alex Winter on Twitter, @Winter. Like, nobody used Winter before, right? No? You don't? Yeah? Anyway.
I'm gonna cut this.
Bill and Ted looked like it was gonna happen, and it went kind of up and down, and fucking A, it happened. And we just watched it. We literally just got done watching it, came down here, and now we're going to talk about it. And what I'm interested to talk to you about, now that your mic's on, is you are someone who had never seen any of the movies and watched all three of them today.
All three today. All the Bill and Ted in one day.
One day. So now me, a lifelong fan, somebody who's been loving these movies for damn near 30 years. You, someone who just started today. I want to know, like, straight out what you thought of. I mean, what do you think of the entire franchise? Let's go there.
It's fun. It's very fun. The first two movies are very much a product of their time. They're very much late 80s, early 90s. They're campy, they're goofy. There's some real stilted acting and whatnot throughout them. Some goofy ass effects. I feel for a lot of folks who didn't grow up in that time, and it's gonna be hard to take some of it, but it's also just such a genuine, fun journey.
Yeah.
Both of those guys, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter, are delightful. Yeah, I loved those, and now I got to see this one, and it's pretty fun.
As someone who, like I said, is a lifelong fan of these movies, my friend Kevin from middle school, with whom I saw the original movies, actually drove here tonight. He's sitting upstairs waiting for us to get done with this stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
And so he came here specifically to watch it with me because this was such a big part of our youth. And it didn't disappoint, you know, and granted, I'm a big fan of the movies. There's a huge, like, nostalgia factor going on. But for me, because of that, I'll admit that the bar was set pretty low. I was like, okay, it just has to be as goofy and, whatever as the originals, and I'll be happy with it. And you know what? It was that.
I can definitely say, I think if I hadn't seen the originals, I would have liked this notably less.
Yeah, totally.
This is definitely like, I don't feel like this is a good jumping on point.
No.
This is absolutely a film that they made for the fans. And that's okay.
Yeah. This is not a standalone movie by any stretch of the imagination. This is a movie that requires that you have seen the first two movies. And thankfully, the first two movies are very accessible. So if you have seen the original movies, this movie kind of takes place as in real life, this movie takes place like 25-ish years after we last saw Bill and Ted. And when we last saw Bill and Ted, they were on top of the world. They were rocking out at the Battle of the Bands, and they were the whole world was watching them. But between then and now, Bill and Ted have not fulfilled their destiny of uniting the world
with a song, the song that unites the world.
Yes. They go through like the behind the music VH1 series kind of trajectory of they're at the top of the world and then the band breaks up and then they go through all these phases and now they're just like hanging out playing at a $2 taco night, and they're still trying to figure out how they're gonna make this song that supposedly unites the world. They're trying to figure that out, and dog's distracted me, so have fun editing that. But anyway, so they're but at the same time, they're the same old Bill and Ted. They're not very bright. They're just hanging out together. They're joined at the hip. They think with the same brain kind of thing. And their wives are getting tired of it. Ted's dad has always been tired of it. So he's just constantly giving them shit. And they're like, how are we going to do this? And then travel through time, the people from the future come and they're like,
I gotta put it. Hey, spoilers! Back!
All right.
I'll actually put it up because this literally just came out.
You guys have, 75 minutes or some shit like that to get your shit together and write this song. So Bill and Ted have to figure out how they're going to do this. And they go through time and they try to go into the future and visit their future selves. Right. So Bill and Ted are trying to figure out how to get the song. Meanwhile, their daughters, Billy and Thea, they're going through time trying to put a band together for their dads, to help their dads out. Their daughters, Billy and Thea, are trying to go through time and put a band together for their dads. So those are the two stories. Bill and Ted are trying to figure out how to get the song. Billy and Thea are trying to put the band together. They all wind up meeting at some point, and that's the premise of the movie.
It's what you think it would be if you've seen the first two movies.
Exactly. I was thinking that the guitar sounds and like the music that they use is really in line though still with the originals.
Oh yeah.
It's got that early 90s like Steve Vai guitar tone kind of thing going on. And so I was happy about that because I was like, are they going to modernize that wanky guitar stuff? No, not at all. It still fits in pretty well.
Yeah, it's very much, a lot of this does definitely feel like Bill and Ted. Like having just seen those first two movies and then seeing this, it's like, no, this carries the same vibe. I don't feel like I'm watching something that's wholly disconnected from the others because, it's been, literally 29 years since the sequel came out. So, I don't feel like there's a huge disconnect. It almost feels planned.
Yeah, it kind of does.
And
me, as someone who has been waiting for this movie a long time, has been a big fan for a long time, I agree. It does not feel like they just got the band back together 30 years later and were like, let's fucking jerk this one out, right?
Yeah.
No, it feels like these were the original people who made it. Ed Solomon, Chris Matthews, the writers. They got Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter back. And then they got a bunch of the original cast members back. They got William Sadler who played Death. The woman who played Missy, she's back in there.
Yeah.
They got the dude who played Ted's mom, Ted's dad. Whatever, fucking Ted's dad. And, just like a bunch of the creators back. And this was a labor of love. And it's a silly, goofy, nonsense movie, but
I would
feels
say
right.
A little more, really the plotting and the way things work out in the whole script. There's some neat detail there and some smart thinking, so I appreciated that.
It's a movie though that you can watch with like the family, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a wholesome family feel-good movie without being like, I don't know, Frozen 2 or some shit.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is, you know, I can't even think of much for like swearing or anything. Really,
he calls him a dick.
Yeah,
You know, that's about the extent of it. And these movies meant a lot to me as a kid. It warms my shrunken, dirty, shriveled heart to see that they did well by the series and by their fans. So, Bill and Ted, it's available video on demand right now. So it's a fun movie. It's super fun. So watch it with your friends. Make sure you've seen the first two, otherwise it's not going to be shit to you. But it's a great movie. I love it. So if you want to see more of this crap, you can find our website, MoJoMenace.com. We got forums there, we got a Discord chat, we got all that shit. On social media, we're at Mojo Menace. It's all about branding, folks, so find us there. Thanks for watching. Yeah! Be excellent to each other.